Hey, wellness community. Welcome back. It's great to see you guys here. It's a small community, but it's still a community. It's in the works. So I want to talk about seed oils. Um, I made a post before about them. Just kind of wrote something, and I didn't feel like it expressed what I wanted to express and like the point I wanted to get across with it. So yeah, I'm just gonna make a video, do that, and put a voice to it, be a bit more empowering, and scare the shit out of you guys too, because that's what I'm here to do, just create fear. I'm kidding. So seed oils, they are not great. They're pretty shitty, to be perfectly honest with you, and they're in like most food, especially processed food and ultra processed food. So I myself have been avoiding them like the plague. I don't eat seed oils anymore. I stopped eating chips because fortunately there's 95% of them, or 99% of them, contain seed oils, and seed oils are not good for our health for many reasons, which I'll state here. I started following somebody named Paul Saladino. He's a former medical doctor, and he does this thing called an animal-based diet, and I've been basically doing that. Not even diet, maybe more so lifestyle. And it's just eating like one or two ingredient foods. Like I just eat like organic grass-fed beef, um, have like organs and things like that, more so like in capsule form because they're kind of gross to eat. Eating things like unpasteurized raw butter, grass-fed butter, grass-fed organic tallow, which is beef fat, kidney fat from cow usually. Um, Also eating things like kefir, some yogurts that are of course organic, grass-fed, unpasteurized if you can get them. It's hard in Canada to get that, um, which is absolutely insane. Also, unpasteurized raw organic cheese. Been eating that too. So that makes up most of my diet, and fruit. I typically stay away from a lot of vegetables as the defense chemicals in them seem to cause me issues, and I know many other people they cause issues for. But anyways, that's on a whole different tangent. Let's just talk about seed oils today. So yeah, a little bit about the history of seed oils and when they showed up and how they start to correlate to heart disease and other diseases and heart attacks, things like that. So, like the pre 1900s, our diets pretty much had no seed oils at all. Most fats were from healthy animal based fats like beef tallow, butter, lard, and ghee. Heart disease, stroke, cancer, and other chronic illness was rare in the 1900s. So, the rise of seed oils started around 1860. That was at least the very first appearance of it. Another company who is not great, which I do not support or endorse at all, any of their products, is Procter and Gamble. They started making Crisco, which is just a shit product. To be honest, it's partially hydrogenated cottonseed oil. So that appeared around 1911. Um, there's also other oils like soybean, sunflower, canola, rapeseed oil, and corn oils, if I didn't already mention that. They started entering the market around the 1900s. And this is when heart attacks, heart disease started to go up significantly, a lot. Um, Basically, never seen them before this. So there is correlation with these seed oils and heart problems, to say the least. So why are they so bad? So like there's an extraction process which they take the seeds from sunflower, soybean, or cotton, or any other ones too, and they use an industrial process using hexane gas, which is very oftenly contaminated with benzene, which is not good for you. Doesn't sound good for you, just the name. They use very high heats, above 450 Fahrenheit, and that damages the oil. There's also a deodorizing and bleaching process to make it more palatable, which is also toxic and increases its oxidation, which you don't want because that increases oxidative stress in your body. So these oils are heavily processed and historically inappropriate for human consumption. So another thing to note or just talk about is the seed oil diet today, especially in America. The average American consumes around 5 tablespoons of seed oil a day, and that if that was in the presence of corn oil, that would be about 70 ears of corn in a day, or 2.5 pounds of soybeans, which are extremely toxic because they're sprayed with Roundup, glyphosate. Um, so humans were never evolved to consume such high amounts of polyunsaturated fat, but here we are, and then we're in an obesity epidemic, lo and behold, and a diabetes epidemic, and chronic, autoimmune chronic disease, and this is a contributing factor. It's a major factor. It's not the whole picture. I don't think there's ever one factor contributing to all this, but it's a big one, and you can avoid it. It may be a little difficult. You may have to cut some of those, processed foods, fast foods, and things out of your life, but it's doable, and you will feel better. I can promise you that. I know I definitely have been feeling way better following this. So it's interesting. Like we look to Google and we type in seed oils, are they bad? And when we get this narrative of like, no, they're okay, and it's misinformation, but you got to look to where the information is coming from Google. A lot of it's coming from associations like the American Heart Association or the FDA or the CDC. These are all captured entities. They're all corrupt. They all have, vested interest in money, and they're not in it for the greater good of human beings. Unfortunately, COVID really showed that to us, especially with the vaccines and all that. There was so much bullshit being spread around that, and there still is, unfortunately, and that just is what it is. So yes, we're told seed oils are healthy for us by the American Heart Association, who is funded by Kraft, who General Mills, Coca-Cola, all companies who make just shit foods. And I know I'm being, kind of blunt and straight up, but they're shit foods. They're not good foods. Kraft does not produce a single food that is healthy for you, nor does General Mills, to my awareness, or Coca-Cola. So can we trust them? No, not really. And so this narrative that polyunsaturated fats, such as seed oils, are heart healthy is based on a flawed lipid hypothesis. It's this myopic view of high LDL equals bad. High LDL equals bad equals heart disease. No, this is not true at all. And this has been debunked many times over and over, and will continually be debunked more and more over time from people like me making videos, other people who are MDs and specialize in nutrition making videos. And we're going to start seeing changes more and more, which is great. We need to go back to tallow and, healthy fats, ghee, coconut oil. Some olive oils are okay. So yeah, to talk a little bit more about the inconsistencies. So before the 1900s, saturated fats were a major part of our diet, and heart disease were non-existent or extremely low. And though today, with the rise of seed oil consumption, especially soybean oil, heart disease rates are through the roof. And humans, we don't make polyunsaturated fats on our own, unlike some animals like pigs or chickens. Historically, humans ate very little omega-6 from seed oils. Now we consume about 10 to 15% of our calories from omega-6, much more than our ancestors did. And the problem with omega-6 is that it's very high in linoleic acid. Linoleic acid is essential for us. We need it, but in small amounts. And we consume far too much. And so the imbalance between omega-6 fatty acids and 3s is causing a variety of chronic disease. And I'll talk just a little bit, scare the shit out of you guys just a little bit, about some of the disruptions to your health of seed oils. So the first one, major one, I think, is the gut microbiome, the linoleic acid and the oxidative stress that is caused from these, or that the seed oils are causing, are just disrupting your immune system function, your mental health, your digestion. Your gut is your second or third brain. It's connected, right? So it's up here. So you need to have proper functioning gut health to be mentally healthy too. So there's also a pretty high, increased risk of cancer with seed oils. Things like breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer have been noted. So obesity and metabolic dysfunction, these fats, unfortunately, they cause about like a cascade of inflammation, and your body stores them, and it just keeps kind of giving off these like oxidative stress signals into your body, which what they actually do is they start to penetrate the arterial walls and form plaque. Plaque formation starts from seed oils. And please note that this doesn't start from healthy saturated fats, from beef, from ghee, from butter, from cheese. No, this doesn't happen. This happens from seed oils. So this is another reason why there's such a contributing factor to heart disease. It also to note is something to do with insulin resistance. The fat storage, unfortunately, also leads to insulin resistance, which increases your chance of things like diabetes and obesity. It's just a very high inflammatory oil. Um, so yeah, studies do suggest that diets rich in seed oils may increase fat accumulation in visceral fat too, the type of fat around internal organs, which is associated with a higher risk of metabolic disease. And so, of course, I've talked about increased risk of heart disease too. And just like a side note before we close here, avocado oil, I don't personally trust it myself. There was a study done in the US, not in Canada. They took, I believe it was 82% of the avocado oil brands, and 82% of them were actually either cut with seed oils or completely soybean oil. So it's out of the picture for me. I don't even know how they just extract it from avocados. Maybe it's similar to olive oils, hopefully. But yeah, personally and myself, going to stay away from it. Don't trust it. Um, and olive oil is great, but don't use high heat because that will oxidize it. So yeah, just to wrap things up, little conclusion is we've been totally misled about seed oils, cholesterol, and heart disease for decades. And the rise in seed oil consumption has not solved heart disease. And in fact, it may be making the situation worse, which I personally believe it is. And the lipid hypothesis, which blames saturated fats for heart disease, has been debunked over time, but the misinformation persists because of vested interest. I'll say it once, I'll say it twice, I'll say it 3 times. The FDA, the CDC, they are all American Heart Association captured entities. They are corrupt from the inside and out. And I hope this changes. And I think it will, but it's going to take some time. Anyways, you guys, thanks for listening. And yeah, I hope this was helpful, to be honest with you. I can always make another video on ways to avoid seed oils, things to eat instead, and kind of go in a bit more depth about that. But I just wanted to give you kind of an information dump on seed oils and how they're harming your health. All right, take care. We'll see you next time.